Hello, everyone. Today we're going to talk about the military award system. A lot of people have written to me asking my thoughts on the topic. It's a very controversial topic, and they've asked if I think it's a fair system. No, I don't think it's a fair system. I think it's a loaded system. I think if the more senior you're in rank, the chances are you're going to get a higher medal, you're going to get due recognition, and in some cases you're going to get an award just for showing up. In other words, end of tour awards. They're given to officers and senior staff NCOs on a regular basis. So what happens is if you're a staff NCO, gunnery sergeant, or staff sergeant, or sergeant first class or below, you're not going to get the recognition because the system is loaded. It doesn't work in your favor. And the other issue is there's all these awards that we give for showing up. I remember when my son was playing soccer in the little league, and they'd play matches, and even the losing team would get a trophy. And I never understood it because you're teaching people to lose, and they still get recognized. So we have these awards that if in some cases, if you're a drill instructor, and trust me, I spent 3.5 years in the drill field. I love drill instructors, did 15 cycles, never had one get relieved, never covered up anything. Ribbon for being a drill instructor. There's a ribbon for being a recruiter. There's a ribbon for working in the chow hall, for ice cream. I mean, it's just getting ridiculous. And so why not we just, take the DD-214, laminate the damn thing, and stick it on everybody's chest so we all know where we've been. That's what it's really come down to. But to really understand the issue, let's go back in history and take a look at it. One of the 6-star generals that the military had was Blackjack Pershing, one of my heroes. And Blackjack had five ribbons on his uniform. Then there's General Marshall, another one of my heroes. General Marshall had 10 ribbons on his uniform. Then we had, the great Ike, General Eisenhower, President of the United States. He had 9 ribbons on his uniform. And then we had Audrey Murphy. You've seen his movies, actor, Medal of Honor recipient. He had 10. From 9 and 10, all of a sudden we're going to 25 and 30. And it makes absolutely no sense. And we're giving out, some of these medals like they're candy. If you're an officer, you go to combat, you're going to get a Bronze Star for doing nothing, basically. If you're a young Marine, you really have to do something courageous to be recognized with a personal award with a Combat V in it. And heroic, obviously, you're going to get recognized with a Bronze Star or Silver Star. But the barrier for that is much higher for enlisted Marines. I guarantee it. I've seen it. I'll give you an example, personal experience, the Combat Action Ribbon. It's supposed to be a personal award, okay? And I've seen it firsthand, when the battalion was fighting, up to 100 kilometers away from the MU headquarters, which was on a FOB about, 8 square kilometers, everybody at the FOB got the Combat Action Ribbon. So the guidance was, if you come up to the FOB, spend the night, you'll get a Combat Action Ribbon. That was the guidance. It had nothing to do with, the rules are very clear. You have to be involved in a firefight, receive and return fire. That's what the rule says. But if you just slept the night at the FOB, you'd get the Combat Action Ribbon. So what was happening was people would fly up from Kandahar, hanging on to the skids of the helicopter, just so they could spend the night on the ramp and fly back the next day. Hey, they got a Combat Action Ribbon. While the rest of my Marines are, fighting in the mountains, so it's a great risk. They haven't taken a shower in 3 months. We're not getting any hot chow, and we're doing gunfights for 11 days straight, and they get a Combat Action Ribbon, and this guy gets it for sleeping at the FOB for one night. I mean, think about that, how ludicrous that is. And the amazing thing is we violated our integrity. Our institutional ethics was violated by writing up this Combat Action Ribbon citation. It had 28 incidents they wrote about, 23 of them. They weren't even remotely qualified because the FOB, it didn't involve the FOB, 23 of those. The 5 of those incidents that involved the FOB, one was an incident where 2 rockets landed, both outside the perimeter. Okay, 107 rockets. There's another one where the OP observed 2 Afghans that they thought were the Taliban outside the perimeter, and they exchanged fire. Nobody knows who initiated the fire. And later on, come to find out, the local governor told us it was his militia guarding us on the base, on the FOB, to make sure. So that was written up as an incident, as a firefight. There's another incident, 2 more rockets landed. One detonated outside the perimeter. The other one wasn't fused properly, didn't detonate. Another incident was an aircraft, KC-130. The FOB was so big, it had a damn runway on it. Was landing 2.5 miles off from the FOB on final approach. It supposedly received fire, And that was written up, hostile environment. Yeah, maybe, yeah, it was hostile, but at the end of the day, does that warrant everybody on the fob getting a combat action ribbon? Absolutely not. There's air medals for that. The rules are very clear, and then finally, there was a case where there was a patrol 10 kilometers away from the fob that got involved in a firefight, and they wrote that up. 10 kilometers away. Obviously, everybody in that patrol deserves the combat action ribbon, but not the entire fob. So my point being is these are situational ethics that undermines our core values, honor, courage, and commitment. Give you another example. When our Marines came out of the mountains, told you, no hot chow, no showers, same uniform for 3 months, and they did fantastic. 1-6 hard. They're fantastic. I couldn't be prouder of them. So when we get to Kandahar, the commanding general, Army guy, Major General Olson, flies down to congratulate the Marines, gives them a kick-ass speech, motivation. Everybody's pumped up. Then he goes, has breakfast with, a squad of Marines handpicked by the MEU. And I'm sitting at, at an adjacent table with the deputy CG. And all of a sudden they call out attention to orders. And they read off the citation and pin on a bronze star on the MEU commander. And I tell you what, I was disgusted. I think I may have thrown up in my coffee cup. I mean, here we have not recognized a single Marine, yet the most senior person in the MEU gets his award first. Think about it. And I told the deputy commanding general sitting right there and then, that I'm going to retire. And he spilled his coffee when I said that, because the battalion had done so well, the BLT. And he asked me why. And I said, for shit like that. That's not the Marine Corps I joined. And that's not what we were taught by our mentors and our teachers and our instructors in OCS, in TBS, and in all the battalions that I served of how to lead. It doesn't work that way. So we need to really get back to the basics and make sure that we're not compromising our ethics just to look good, just so everybody has the combat action ribbon, everybody's got the Bronze Star. And we need to make sure that we're taking care of our younger Marines first and foremost, because they're the ones that matter. And without them, there is no Marine Corps. And that's one of the reasons we're having problems with recruiting now across the military. So our soldiers, airmen, sailors, Marines, Coast Guardsmen, and women, they come first. That's what leadership's all about. So when I see senior officers walking around with a stack of freaking ribbons, and I see a Lance Corporal or Corporal with 2 or 3 ribbons, I kind of look at 3 ribbons, 30 ribbons. Something is wrong. We need to fix it. That's all I got. Stay rugged. Con out.